Okay, so today's video is the Brother MFC-J4620dw printer, and the problem this printer has is that you push the power button and the unit doesn't turn on. I've already covered this problem in another video for a different model, but I thought I'd make a video for this series model of printers, as YouTube seems to really limit the search ability of people searching for problems with their printers. You've virtually got to make a video for every model of printer, which is kind of not really feasible. But anyway, so the repair we're covering today is this unit. You're pushing on the power button, the printer refuses to turn on, and the problem is caused by one of these supercapacitors on the main board. This is a little supercapacitor. It keeps the memory and the clock ticking on the main board. It stores things like keeps the memory active, so it stores things like your Wi-Fi settings and Wi-Fi passwords for your network. So we're just going to change one of these little devices today. If you're unable to locate them in your area where you live, you can buy them on my website. Just head over to fixitfastelectronics.com. We post them worldwide. And with this little device, you can fix your printer and make it usable again for another 3 to 4 years. This part typically has a lifespan of 3 to 4 years. I have seen them as little as 1 year they fail, but it's a guaranteed built-in obsolescence type of problem where the printer will simply refuse to turn on, and people get tricked into thinking that they have to buy a new printer when they don't need to. They just simply need to fix it. So, in this video, if your printer isn't turning on when you're pushing the power button, to eliminate whether you actually have a faulty supercapacitor or whether you have a faulty power supply circuit board, we go through this reset procedure. So if your printer does not respond to this reset procedure, doing this will not fix your printer's issue. So the first thing you do is you unplug it from the power socket. You push the power button and hold it down for about 5 to 10 seconds. What that does is that just eliminates any residual power that's currently in the power supply. And then you release it. The next step is you hold down the power button and at the same time you plug the power cord in. So I'll push with this finger, pushing with that finger on the power, plugging the power in, and then you'll see here that the home button has lit up. You keep holding the power button down. As soon as you see the brother message, you let the power button go. The machine will say all functions will be disabled. You push the button and the unit turns off, and then the home light comes back on. So this proves that this machine still functions perfectly okay. It has a perfectly good functioning power supply. The only issue with it not turning on is because this supercapacitor has failed. So if your machine does not respond at all and it's completely and utterly dead, there's no point in watching the rest of this video. It doesn't apply to the problem that you have with your printer. So next step is unplug it. We then have to open of the top scanning unit away from the bottom of the printer. So you have to unplug a screw that's in here, undo a screw that is in here, you need to undo a screw that is in here, and you need to undo a screw that is in here. There is a cover. The cover sits here. You have to grab the cover and pull it out. You then have to undo a screw that is on this earth strap right here. So this earth strap will stop, because if it's screwed in, it stops the cover from coming up like so. You then have to unplug from here any socket plugs. When you buy your printer brand new, there is a white plug which is in the external phone socket here. You have to plug that, or unplug it, in order to get the cover to come up and out, like so. Alright, so once you've got all those screws out, you can then simply bring the cover up. Just be careful of the cables over here that you don't unplug them, or if you do unplug them, you can plug them back in later. We get the cover open, and then what we need to do is we need to chock this cover up so that it makes it a bit easier for you to work. In my case, I have just simply got a can of something or other, bathroom foam. We pull the lid off, take the lid, stick it inside the body there, and that gives you plenty of room to work without too much hassle. Now the supercapacitor on this particular circuit board in this machine, it's the 4620, by the way, if I didn't say that before. This machine is also sold as the 4510, the 4410, and a few other models that I can't think of right now. So the supercapacitor is right in here behind all these cables, and that is it right there. That's what we've got to change. It's just a simple matter of getting the earth plate, let's bend it up to make a bit more room. You grab these two leads, you grab the flat cable in the middle and pull it up. Grab this flat cable in the middle, and pull it up. Equal amount of pressure on either side, and just simply drag them out of the way. Yeah. Oh, come on, get out of the way. And that is the little device there. It's basically just a weak battery. And we need to snip that off and solder in a new one on there. So the capacitors I'm using for this one, the one that's in here is vertically mounted. The one I'm doing is horizontally mounted, but it's just simply a case of getting the leads and bending them around. And there we have what was formerly a horizontal capacitor turned into a vertical capacitor. The ones I sell on the website. Alright, so we've got our leads free and away, so we've got somewhere to work. The next step is just to get a screwdriver. I've got this screwdriver. You stick it behind the supercapacitor and just gently pry one of the leads free. Get yourself a pair of cutters or something like this. This is what I typically use, and just snip one of the leads free. You'll notice on the board here it's got arrows that point the direction of where the supercapacitor goes. And once you've got one lead free, you can then get some pliers, put it in, pry it up, and out it comes. So we've got the supercapacitor gone, and now it's just a matter of soldering in a new one in there. The supercapacitors I've got on my website, they're actually different to the ones that I'm going to be using here. They've actually got longer leads, so it makes it easier for you to fix your printer with. Okay. Alright, so there we have the new supercapacitor soldered in. It's not pretty, but it certainly works and will do the job it needs to. Next step is we will just plug all the leads back in, and then we'll check the voltages on the capacitor and make sure it is in actual fact charging. So I'll just plug the leads back in now, and then we'll test the voltages on the capacitor. Alright, so the leads are all plugged back in now, so we will now just plug the machine back into the power. We can see it's coming on instantly now. We will get our meter. And we will test the voltages on the capacitor. Yep. Put that up there for you to see. It's times like these you need 3 hands. There we go, we're up around 4 volts. We'll now unplug it. Let's see if it holds a charge still. Which it should, of course. Yep, there we go. We've still got 3.7 volts on there. So that machine is fixed. So we'll put it back together, send it back to the customer, and we'll see it in another 4 years to have the same done again. So that's it for today's video. Yep, if you find you can't find those capacitors locally, then yep, just head over to our website and we can put them in the post for you. And you'll get them who knows when with the whole COVID event. Some people will get them in probably a week or 2 weeks. In Australia, you get them in about 4 days. Other places of the world, probably a month, who knows. But yeah, so you can use that reset procedure, holding down the power button and plugging the power cord in, and that'll get you still printing until the part arrives and you do manage to fix it properly. So thanks, I hope that helps. I'll see you later.